So just before we get into this makeover, I decided to remind you where we took this room from, remember? So this was just after we'd shot Wembe Squad. So the room basically looked like this when we got it, minus all the green paint at the base, but it had a shit ton of stuff and it had things all over the place. It was not clean, the floors were nasty, and then I decided to clean up the walls and try and make them look good. And after cleaning, they kind of gave us something. The walls were looking nice and clean because we took them from this and turned them into something that looked more presentable. But still, as much as it looked clean, it was not giving pretty. And you know me, I like pretty things. So after we moved in, then some more demo work happened. I decided to remove things that I did not need, like this closet. And after that, it was time to prime the walls and at least give myself a blank canvas to start with. And that is how we ended up here. So now let's get into this makeover. Hello, good morning. For this video, at least, we are finally getting started on the bedroom makeover. For the bedroom, there's some things that have happened, some things that are changing, but you remember we primed our walls. One other thing I did is I have done the first coat of my accent color, which I'm now going to show you if you pipped. So that's going to be our accent wall. That's the first coat. And now we get to move on from there. Wow, I am so excited for the bedroom makeover. So today we're doing the ceiling. The fundi is coming with his helper, with his KYM, and I will be working on the windows, like prepping the walls for paint now, because we have a primer on the wall. But we do have some things, some refining, like you see here. I want to put some filler just to smooth that out. We need to do that.
Unaona Muthoni? Tukikata hivyo umesema kupucha hivi, sitakuwa mrefu.
Hapana, atukate ikiwa 8.
Ndio nasema itakuwa 8. Itakuwa 80.
Basi kwa 8 haifiki, huku ni 9.
Ndio nasema
tukikata 8.
Ndio nasema. Sasa hiyo ndio utatuambia. Itakuwa tumekata.
Ndio hiyo ni 6. So si ndio nakwambia. Ya hapa si umesema ni 6. Kutoka hapa mpaka hapa ni 6. Nataka kujua kutoka hapa mpaka hapa ni ngapi. Kama ni 6, tutafanya ya hii pande tunakata, tunaiwekea hii ya hii pande tunawekea kuanzia huko. Ndio ishike. Na hii pande
mpaka hapa tuanze ndio.
Patia huyo atupimie hii pande.
Saw you paint a picture of a face that wasn't even close to mine. I know I shouldn't be in love, but it's so hard to move on. You haven't changed, you stayed the same. But if you did, I'd still love you anyway. I'd give you the world like I promised I would. Even though you wouldn't do the same. I'd give you the world like I promised I would. Even though you wouldn't do the same.
Support system. Support system.
Had this conversation more than 10 times. After 9 I still
we finished installing the ceiling. I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but when we were doing the ceiling, initially we were going to create a pattern using the boards. Given the way that the underlying bone structure, in this case the bone structure being the wood that's underneath, the one you attach the boards to, given the way they were spaced out, we were going to end up wasting a lot of our boards if we decided to go with a pattern, and we didn't have a way in which, well, since we had already sort of started when we realized this, then we didn't have like a way in which we could put like full boards at that point. So the reason we couldn't put full boards is because a full board is 8x4 in fit. It's 8x4. At no point in this space did we have the bone structure, the framing. At no point do the frames intersect at the 4x8 portion. So you find like it's either three, they were like 3x9. So the best you could do is 3x6, or yeah. So basically the intersections were either at 9s or 6, and then the other way they were either at 6 or at 3. So yeah, that was not cool. So due to that, we had to do a lot of maths. I think you probably saw us to the point where we had to like do the math and cut boards like as we were going, instead of wasting so many boards, right, to get this pattern. How about we have no pattern at all? We're going to have like just a plain ceiling. So we fit in all the rest of the boards that we had and cut them according to the bone structure that we were working with. In this case, the framing. I should stop saying bone structure. The framing that we were working with. And now I am here to do the rest of the work before we paint. So right now the ceiling has 1,079 joints. 79, why? I don't know, because there's so many. But we have so many joints where the boards, with the pieces of boards that we had cut and where they were joining. So we are going to go in with something called fiberglass joint tape. I was gonna say paint. Fiberglass joint tape. You can also use paper tape, but I was able to find fiberglass. This one's better because that means I don't have to do 2 layers of the filler, which is what's going to fill up the cracks and like give us an even layer to work with. This one is a 90-meter tape that's like 5 centimeters in width. So I've used just a small bit of it as I was doing the hallway. I needed to see if I could use it to fill up a hole. It wasn't a big hole, it was a small hole, so I'm letting that dry. This is what we're going to use to hide all these 59,000 joints. The beauty of this tape is that it's self-adhesive, so it attaches to the base. If you're using paper tape, you have to first do a layer of the filler, then put the tape, then go on top with another layer. Sometimes you'll see a ceiling and then you see the cracks of where the filler was. That's because they didn't use a joint tape. Hopefully by the end of this month, we'll have a full bedroom, like we'll have completed one room, beginning to end. That includes light fixtures. The scraper that I have here is not my fave, but it will work. Yeah, it will work for this space. So I want to start over here. So from here till here, I have no problem doing like smaller sections because I want to be able to do them as I move. This looks like it needs to just come off. There we go. So this is self-adhesive, right? So it's just gonna stick to the surface, which is good. But I noticed to cut it, it's easier to cut it with like scissors and then just work with that. So I just felt it. There we go. I'm hoping that the 2 rolls will be enough for this room. So I'm just going to measure enough for this space. And then cut it at that point. That way I'm only working with like just that piece. This one's going to go a bit over. So I think I might need, but let's see. So you can hardly see anything, I'm sure. So I'm just going to place it down. So you want to make sure like in this case, the space between the 2 sheets is between is covered by the mesh because it's like, it looks like a mesh. And then I'm just pushing it down with the scraper because it does have that glue. So there we go. There we'll have to do something about that. And then, after placing it like that, I hope you can see it. I'm going to take, not a lot, just we're doing a thin layer first of the filler, and just fill in that space. I don't want to take too much because my scraper is not that huge, and then just keep pulling it as I go. So the idea is to seal the space. That way it will look like one even layer. It will look like we bought one huge ass board and placed it on the ceiling. So what this does is, this is what prevents the cracking on the ceiling, of the filler, let's say that, okay? So I can still see where the line is. So I want to feather the sides so that most of the filler is where the empty space is. And also just to make sure that I wouldn't end up having bumps.
'Cause I've been up till 6 a.m. Wrote 5 songs all just for you. 3 of them
So
I
well
can't bear listening to. I'd give you the world like I promised I would, even though you wouldn't do the same. I'd give you the world like I promised I would, even though you wouldn't do the same.
This bed is extremely heavy.
I'd do anything you want me to, 'cause I love you.
Sina kitu long enough kusi nakata na nikate ile. So, hii afu itakuwa na ile juu yake. So, this is a door that used to be in the bathroom closet, for the bathroom closet. This is what we're going to repurpose and use it as our vanity stand in that vanity section, instead of having to go buy bows. And then because it's not straight on the inside, we're going to use the plain board on top of it, attach it to this, and then we'll have a plain and smooth surface. So we've measured uko ndani, now we want to cut this to size.
I was yours for the taking. Guess I needed a home, but if I'm not mistaken, you were good on your own. And I know I was drunk enough. Didn't know it would mess me up, yeah. Now I'm truly awakened up. Say you wanna talk again, but it's time I do this my way. I don't wanna be your friend. Think we hit our expiration date. I want you to feel the weight, feel the hate that I felt when we came to an end. You don't get to call me up, tell me that you need forgiveness. You're the one.
Hey, so I can't use this because I'm doing a very light sanding, this is just going all in. Like it's hard to control it, especially because it's a flat surface, but it's facing up. Because if it was facing down, it would be easier for me to control the machine, but it's not easy to control it because it's moving really fast and it's facing this way. So we'll just go. I'm like, it's not gonna take that long. We'll just use the same amount of time, but now we'll just go with this, do it by hand. It's gonna be fast enough. The thing is, I can't find my mask, my dust mask. Hey, should have said it nicely. Dust mask. Yes, I can't seem to find it because my stuff is all over the place.
That night, should have known you were something that would mess with my mind. Oh, but I won't put the blame on me. You're the one to be honest, yeah. 'Cause you can handle emotions. So you wanna talk again, but it's time to do this my way. I don't wanna be your friend. Think we hit our expiration date. I want you to feel the weight, feel the hate that I felt when we came to an end. You don't get to call me up, tell me that you need forgiveness. You're the one who called it off, broke my heart in just a minute. No, you don't get to call it love when it wasn't even close. No, it wasn't even close. You didn't even say goodbye. No, you didn't even hug it out. No, how did I end up and I don't, 'cause it wasn't love. Now I know that you don't get to call me up, tell me that you need forgiveness. You're the one who called it off, broke my heart in just a minute. No, you don't get to call it love when it wasn't even close. No, it wasn't even close. No, it wasn't even close.
So it is the next morning, obviously. Last night I finished painting the first and second coat of paint on the ceiling boards. First, I love how bright the room looks thanks to that. It looks so much better than when it had that, that brown effect and stuff. But it's brighter, looks larger. A couple of things I would change. I would find someone to do the sanding for me. The sanding is a lot of work. So I've learned my lesson. So what I'll do is next time for this room, there's the portion that I did yesterday with the feeler. I was unable to sand it and I just painted over it because I was just like, I was just done. I was exhausted. I was done. And there's portions where the boards, you remember, like as we're doing, there's parts you'd see me try and nail the boards. That's parts where one board was like lower or higher than the other. Thanks to like maybe the board, the frame underneath or something. For some of those, it didn't work that well. And there's portions where like the nails are sticking out. Those are annoying. But I feel like if I paint 2 more coats of paint on the ceiling, it should look good. Am I going to do that now? Hells no. Okay, I'm not doing that right now. I'll probably do that like when I'm now finishing the rest of the house and then we do like one, like final touches and stuff. For now, I just like that it looks clean, it looks neat. I like the way it looks. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hit you. I like that it's bright, it's light and all that. I will try and see if maybe we can sand a bit more and get an even layer, even better, because there's portions where The sanding I did very well, and there's parts where I just did very poorly, especially in the middle of the room, I guess because I had to lean in to make it happen. So towards the center of the room, really shoddy job. Not like shoddy, but like it's not the best. I could have done better. Towards the edges looks really good. Like on this side you can hardly see anything, right? Once we do the final bits of the painting, you will not even know there are boards there that have been attached, like, you know, sections and whatever. Now this morning, what I want to do is I want to do one last thing before I leave you guys, because this video has to go up today, and here I am cutting it extremely close, but we've got this. We're gonna do it. I want to put the door that we had cut down for the vanity, which is going to be our vanity table. We cut down the door, and then we also have a sheet of board that's going to go on top, and then they're going to be painted, and then we're going to band the front to make it look like one piece. I want us to do that right now. Work that's already happened here. I've already measured where the support systems of the top are going to be. They've been drawn out and they've already been drilled. So this, we're going to have a piece of wood here, here, and here that the top is going to sit on. So this one's already been measured. The points have been whatever. Those ones are attached. So now it's attaching them that we're going to do. It's a simple process if you've never done that before. It's a really simple process. Let me just bring my stuff. I have to measure because I'd already measured. This one came from here, so they're just going back. I'd removed them with the hopes of painting them, but I'll just paint with them on the wall. So I'm just going to follow the guide that's already there, so I don't need to do any more measurements. I don't need to level or anything because I had already done all that. So my guides are already in place. What I did is when I removed, I also marked. So this is top, which means this is the top side, and then given the way it looks, this is the front side, which then means this one sits over here. So since I already have this part's marked where the screws initially were, that's just what I'm going to use, and that means it's definitely just going to stay straight because I'd already done the whole using the spirit level. So I had put this here, use the spirit level here, then with this one I put a spirit level across to make sure that it's completely straight, as well as the side. Again, into the hole, fits perfectly, and then just screw that in.
Wanted to get it right.
Just goes right
Trying
in.
to find somebody in my life. I never really put up a fight, and now I'm losing sleep. What if I lost touch? What if I'll never get it right? I try to follow my heart, but I lost it somehow. Wish that
I was like, it's high, but then I also realized with the light coming in, I like to do my makeup when I'm standing. That's one. And two, if it's too low, then it gives us way too much happening on this side. So I was like, I'll just get a higher sit, because I can get a higher sit instead of like a low, because I have the bench, which is slightly lower compared to this. So I'm just like, I'll just make a stool that's slightly taller. That way, if I sit on it like here, my face is still above the table surface. So that's what I wanted us to do before we move on. Do you want to see the color choice? I don't know. I'm tempted to share. Do you want to see? Should I share the color choice? Because I wanted you to see a bit of, yeah, let me share. Let me paint it. Wow. This video is going up today. Let me paint it. I don't know, do you want to do like a base coat first? Just a light coat. To make it easier to paint our color. So we'll just give it a bit of time. And then we can start editing, then come back. Then come back and, you know, follow up. Because this dries pretty fast. That's the advantage because it's a base coat.
Listen to me as I slow it down.
I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. So that's basically what we're working with, and if you want to see what more we do in this room, you have to come back next week for part 2 of the bedroom makeover, because then we get to finish our accent wall, because that's not what it's going to look like. Our feature wall is going to look very different, and we'll also get to finish our vanity, which is also going to look pretty different, and then we're going to paint the rest of the room. So yeah, remember to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, leave a cute comment down below. If it ain't cute, I don't want it, but you can also leave it because YouTube don't care. If you're yet to subscribe, please hit the subscribe button below. You can leave a comment, share this video with as many people as you can, put it on your stories, tag me, and I'll see you back here next week with another video. Have yourself a lovely weekend. Bye.